Lev Vygotsky was a Soviet psychologist best known for his work on psychological development in children and creating the framework known as cultural historical activity. He was born on November 17, 1896. Vygotsky's life was cut short in 1934 at the age of 37 when he died of tuberculosis. He earned the title the Mozart of Psychology because he produced and published many profound theories in a short period of time, much like Mozart was a prolific composer in a short period of time. Why is Vygotsky's theory important? Vygotsky's theory offers a contrast to other psychological ideas, such as those of Piaget. Vygotsky's theory of cognitive development focuses on how culture and language impact and shape the learner.
Lev Vygotsky coined the Socio-Cultural development theory, which is a cognitive development theory that's anchored in the social and cultural aspects that surrounds the child throughout his or her developmental period. But there's another well-known psychologist that took interest in the cognitive development of children, which is John Piaget with his 4 stages of cognitive development. Now that we know that there's 2 cognitive development theories that exist today, we must now delve into the difference of the 2. Vygotsky's socio-cultural development theory states that children's cognitive development is heavily influenced by social and cultural aspects that surrounds the child, while on the other hand, Piaget's cognitive development states that children learns and develops through the things that surrounds them because children are tabula rasa or blank slate. Piaget also believes that development happens in strict order like that of a staircase, while in contrast, Vygotsky believes that development happens in a ramp, no strict order or period of time.
Infants are born with a few elementary mental functions: attention, sensation, perception, and memory, that are eventually transformed by the culture into new and more sophisticated mental process he called higher mental function. Attention is the behavior a person uses to focus the senses from sight to hearing and even smell. When we pay attention, we focus on one thing in particular and ignore distractions that are competing for our awareness. Vygotsky believed that children are able to engage in pretend play because they start to separate the visual field, what can be seen, from the field of sense, what can be implied, or meaning, the act or faculty of perceiving, of apprehending by means of the senses. Vygotsky proposed that children are born with elementary mental abilities such as memory and perception, and the higher mental function developed from this through the influence of social interaction.
What is scaffolding by Lev Vygotsky? Scaffolding is the guidance provided by the MKO, more knowledgeable other, to the learner to accomplish a certain task or learning, giving support to the learner as they learn but not so much it doesn't challenge them anymore. The guidance given is based on the ZPD, or the Zone of Proximal Development. The ZPD is a difference of the amount a learner can do on his own and what he can do with the help of the MKO. Now, as the learner learns more and gains new abilities, the amount of help provided by the MKO decreases and ceases, while the learner develops a sense of autonomy or independence. This is called the scaffold or fade-away technique.
Social interaction is a social exchange between 2 or more individuals. Usually, it refers to face-to-face encounter in which people are physically present with one another for a specified duration. It's related to Vygotsky's theories because Vygotsky's social development theory asserts that a child's cognitive development and learning ability can be guided and meditated by their social interaction. His theory, also called Vygotsky's Socio-Cultural theory, states that learning is essential to social process as opposed to an independent journey of discovery.
What are cultural factors? Cultural factors comprise of set of values and ideologies of particular community or group of individuals. It is the culture of an individual which decides the way she or he behaves. In simpler words, culture is nothing but a values of an individual. Vygotsky asserts that learning is culturally dependent, with individuals from different cultures learning differently. The role of culture is central to this theory, requiring educators to consider its effects on the learning environment. Immersion in a professional subculture influences what and how learners think.
Learning through language provides access to information that others already possess. Children make meaning of their experiences and the world around them through language and interactions. As for Vygotsky's theory, language is one of the bases for the majority of learning, whether it be academic understanding, social abilities, moral development, or physical achievement. Vygotsky believed that you can see how children use their influences and the information they are given as part of their process, developing new skills and evolving language from others, which then guide how they think and act. One of the examples of this is that children learn language through interaction and hearing what others say. They communicate out of curiosity, and by asking questions using language to communicate is one of the ways for them to learn. This is one example of how this theory works. Children learn language not only from their parents and other adults, but also from other kids. All usual children who are raised in common households are exposed to talk and will pick up the language that is being spoken. And as they grow, the use of that language and what they learn will continuously improve. Overall, it says that communicating is one of the ways to learn, and the means for them to communicate is by the use of language.
Lev Vygotsky's theory of learning and development included a crucial concept known as the zone of proximal development, or ZPD. A learner's zone of proximal development is the area between what they can do on their own and what they can do with adult supervisions or incorporation with more experienced peers. It is also the child potential for cognitive development and competence when they are directed through a task rather than allowed to complete it alone. ZPT describes a child's capacity to complete a task that is just slightly beyond their level of competence while receiving assistance from more experienced individuals. This idea explains why, when a youngster is unable to demonstrate some skills on their own, they merge in more social settings. The gap between the actual developmental level when measured independently and the level of prospective growth when assessed in partnership with peers or mentor or under the supervision of a teacher is known as a zone of proximal development.
According to Lev Vygotsky, he defines the zone of proximal development as the difference between the current and potential levels of cognitive development. The ZPD refers to the learner's ability to perform tasks successfully with the support of more skilled people, and it is commonly recognized with assisted or scaffolded learning. The zone of proximal development includes two key components: the student's potential development and the role of interaction with others. A learner's skill set can be classified into three categories. The expert must understand the learner's specific ZPD stage for learning to occur. Vygotsky believed that every person has two stages of skill development, which are a skill they can achieve by themselves and a level they can achieve with the help of an experienced mentor or teacher. The ZPD can be broken into three stages. Think of them as a series of overlapping circles. The first level is the task the learner can do without assistance. This category includes everything a person can do without help from a more experienced individual. While the second one is tasks that the learner can do with assistance. This category includes tasks a person can work through alone but can work through with help also, known as their CPD. And the third one, tasks the learner can do with assistance. The final category includes tasks that are too difficult to perform even with an instructor's help. For example, a young child might be able to spell out their name by themselves but need help from someone else to write the complete alphabet. The task is above their skill level and outside their CPD.
To conclude, Lev Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of cognitive development revolves around the interactions an individual makes with their surroundings and the people around them. Each influential encounter brings an increase to the quantity of information and the number of skills that the young person develops. It also affects the development of higher-order mental functions such as formal reasoning. The difference between Piaget and Vygotsky's theories of cognitive development ranges from the socio-cultural context, key processes in developmental learning, and the role of language in development. Cognitive development stems from social interactions from guided learning within the zone of proximal development as children and their mentors construct knowledge together. Vygotsky believes that thought and language are initially separate systems from the beginning of life, merging at around 3 years of age and producing verbal thought or inner speech. Vygotsky agrees with Piaget's idea that the development of cognitive abilities takes place in stages. However, he viewed cognitive development as a social process where children learn from experienced adults. In his theory, the adults convey to children the way their culture interprets and responds to the world around them. The adults in society fosters the children's cognitive development by engaging them in meaningful activities that challenge them.